Akshatata's recipes. Thank you so much for joining me today. So today's recipe is a very simple Gavarachi bhaji recipe or cluster bean bhaji. It doesn't have any onion in it or garlic, ginger, chillies, nothing. It's just super simple and gets ready also pretty quickly, and it's really delicious. So let's just jump straight ahead into today's lovely recipe. So friends, let's start with today's delicious Gavarachi bhaji recipe or cluster bean recipe. So here I've taken 200 grams of gavar, taken off the ends, and then with my hands itself I've just broken them up into half-inch pieces like this. And then I'm going to soak them in water for about 10 minutes and then give them a thorough rinse and keep them in a sieve or sift. Now I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of oil to a pan. And once the oil is nice and hot, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of mustard seeds or mohri or rye. So this is a half teaspoon that I'm using. So I'm using 2 of them. That makes 1 teaspoon. Next goes in half a teaspoon of cumin seeds or jeera, half a teaspoon of asafoetida or hing, and half a teaspoon of turmeric powder or haldi. So this recipe doesn't have any kind of, no onions, no ginger, no garlic, no green chilies, just a very simple recipe. And now I'm going to add the gavar, which I rinsed really well and kept it in a sieve for about 5 minutes. Now watch the video till the end because I'll give you a little bit of tips on how to buy gavar when you're buying this cluster beans. Now mix the gavar really well with the oil and all the ingredients so that it flavors the gavar really nicely. And now this vegetable is enough for 4 people. If you want more, then you can double all the ingredients. And now we're going to add salt to taste. Now the reason I'm adding salt right now is because it helps to cook the gavar to the right consistency. And it even flavors the gavar really well. So we add we add salt at this point, not at the end. Like in some vegetables, when we are cooking them, we add salt later on, but for gavar, we add it first. And now I'm just going to put a plate on top of it, and I'm going to add some water to the plate. And our flame is going to be on low. And we're going to keep this for about 5 minutes without stirring. After 5 minutes, you will see that there are some bubbles on top of the lid. Now what you're going to do is you're going to lift up the lid extremely carefully, and you're going to put in about half of the water from the lid into the gavar and mix it well. So this will cook the gavar really well, and it won't be rough, and it won't be tough on to eat. It'll get cooked really nicely. And now we're going to keep this again for about another 2 to 3 minutes, and all of the water has evaporated. And now we're just going to season it with some other few ingredients. So now I'm going to add a little bit of a few ingredients. I'll just take you through them. So first goes in 1 teaspoon of red chili powder, next I'm going to add about 2 teaspoons of goda masala or kala masala. Now this is homemade goda masala or kala masala, so I'll leave a link to the recipe of how I make it. It's very simple. And now mix all of this really nicely together. Now you can see there's a little bit of liquid or water remaining. Most of it has evaporated. And now I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of jaggery or ghul, grated jaggery or ghul, and mix everything nicely together. And now we're just going to cover it and keep it for just about 1 minute. And that's it, guys. Now all you have to do is just add some lovely fresh grated coconut, about a teaspoon or so, and mix it in well. And the coconut is also optional. If you don't want to add the coconut, you can leave it out. And now mix everything well together, and your gavar bhaji is all ready. This is one of my favorite vegetables. A really easy recipe. Now for my homemade goda masala, which I make and I store and it lasts me for about 4 to 5 months. I'll leave the recipe down in the description box. It's very simple and it gets ready also pretty quickly. Now when you're choosing your cluster beans or your gavar, there are certain things that you need to keep in mind. First of all, they should be very light green in color, not a very dark green in color. Also, they should be very firm when you touch them. They shouldn't be soft. They shouldn't have gone, discolored, have any blackish tinge in them, but they should look nice and firm. And sometimes if the vendor allows you, the vegetable vendor, you can take one of them and just break them, and you should get that click sound. It should not be a soft sound. So these are the things you need to keep in mind, that go for the more lighter green color gavar. They should be nice and firm. They should not look soft. They should not have any blackish tinge in them. And those are the key points you need to keep in mind when you're buying gavar. So that's it for today's video. I'll join you in my next video sooner than you think. This is Akshata signing off. Take care, guys. Bye.